Hi, I'm Hildebrandt, and today I'm going to teach you how to build a fire in a wood stove. After years of trial and error, I have finally found a surefire way, no pun intended, to start a fire and to watch it grow into a warm, roaring flame. One of the keys is the kindling, newspaper and small sticks about half the width of my finger to start out with. A trick I learned recently is to put small logs on the interior of the stove right on the edge. I'll show you why in a second. Then I take 5 full pieces of newspaper and I twist them up like this, and I put them along the bottom. I find that about 5 pieces works out just about right along the bottom of the wood stove, one right next to the other, like that. After I put those 5 pieces of newspaper in there, I put 5 pieces of kindling across just like this over the newspaper. 2, spread out pretty evenly. 3, I use sticks sometimes from the backyard too. 4, and there's 5. Let me spread them out evenly across there. Then I take 5 more pieces. These may be just a little bit thicker than the first ones. And I put those in log cabin style. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll put a 5th one back over here for a total of 10 pieces of small kindling altogether. After that, I'll take a couple more pieces, maybe the width of my wrist, and put those in there. Again, log cabin style on top of the kindling. There we go. And then finally, I'll grab a little bit bigger piece like this, and I'll put that on the very top there. Once that is done, I'll take 3 more pieces of newspaper, twist them up, put them on the very top here. 1, 2, twisted fairly loosely for these. 2, and 1 more for good measure. Okay, now we're almost ready to light the fire, but there's one more step that I take before doing that. I'll go over to my basement window here that's next to the wood stove. I'll crack it open just a few inches, let a little bit of air in. That gets a draft going initially to get the fire going a little bit better. Before starting the fire, it's important that this lever is on the high setting rather than the low setting, so it lets a lot more air in and gets the flames going much quicker. Remember how I put those 2 little logs at the bottom in the interior of the stove when I first got started before even putting the newspaper in? Well, the reason for that is once you get all these other logs on top, it sort of squishes everything down. And if the newspaper is squished way down, then it doesn't light as well. But this lifts it up just a little bit so there's some room in there for the air to get in and the bottom newspapers can light well. Okay, I'm going to start here with the top newspapers. I do that because it gets a nice little draft going up the chimney here. Can you hear that? And then I do the bottom ones down here. And that'll get a nice draft going up the chimney. And there's some room down there because I have those logs for that newspaper to ignite. And look at that. It's starting to burn. A nice little fire going. You can hear the crackling of those small little pieces of kindling that we had at the bottom there. Now once this gets going about to this point, you can see that it doesn't have any danger of going out. At this point, I think we can close the door. There we go. Making sure again that this lever is wavered to the left, not to the right, so we get plenty of air going up there to get this fire going. You can see how that fire is really roaring right now. So I'm going to go over and close my basement window because I don't need that open any longer. And after a couple of minutes when this is really going well, I'll take my lever and watch this. To put it all the way to the right. The flames calm down a little bit and it doesn't burn quite as quickly, but that's okay at this point, so we can let it calm down for a while before we put our last big logs on. Now that this is really going well, about 20 minutes later, I can put this back over to high on the lever. Got some good coals in there. I can take my bigger pieces and start putting those in now. So here we go. And again, we put this all the way back over to the high setting. And in just a minute, this log will catch on fire. Then after a minute or so, when that log is really going, we can push our lever back over to the low setting. And we have a nice pleasant flame there. And it'll burn for a long time. I hope you have success starting your own wood stove fire and enjoy your wood stove as much as I've enjoyed mine. I'm Hildebrandt. Thanks for watching.